Kids love blowing bubbles. One single bottle of bubble liquid could potentially provide hours of bubble-blowing fun, yet somehow it never gets the chance. Blowing bubbles is a pretty easy task, but for a young child, no. Every bottle I bought for my daughter has been spilled, its contents completely lost within the first 5 minutes of opening. The reason for this problem, besides the poor motor skills of young children, probably has a lot to do with that great big opening. So, the plan was to make a bubble liquid bottle that could not spill. The plan was to have a bottle with a specially designed lid that would support a flexible membrane with a thin slit in it, which would prevent leaks. And it should be easy to open with slippery hands, and of course we would need a bubble wand. I haven't had much success with designing threads that work when 3D printed, and I'm not very experienced with 3D modeling. So I went to Thingiverse and found a collection of different size containers made by wstein. I downloaded the 40 by 80 lid and container. It seemed the closest size to a regular bottle of bubble liquid. So, starting with the lid. Import the STL file into Blender and cut out a hole in the lid using the Boolean function. Make sure that the hole is big enough for the wand to fit through with some wiggle room, because this is for little children. And they will get frustrated pretty quickly if the hole is only just big enough to fit the wand. The bubble wand is also pretty simple to make. This one is 1 millimeter thick in the middle. Make sure your circle has enough vertices that it will actually work well as a wand by holding onto enough bubble liquid. The ridges on the end of the wand were extruded outwards by 2 millimeters, and the same was done on the other side. Then make a stick. A cube is fine for this. Make sure it will attach securely to the ring and that it can print flat. Then join them together. Lastly, there is another lid. This is the lid that the bubble wand will be stuck into. You just need some kind of structure for the wand to stick into, like a cylinder. Then cut out a hole of the same size and shape of the end of your wand. And even though you make it the exact same size in Blender, when it prints, it will not fit. If you want it to fit straight off the printer, you will have to play around with your measurements and your printer settings. Finally, join the bits together. Once everything is printed, the first thing you'll notice is that the wand doesn't fit into the hole. Just sand the end or slice off a bit of the plastic until it just fits. Then stick it into the hole. You will want to glue it into the hole with super glue. It should fit into the bottle perfectly when the lid is screwed on. Just like that. Next, you'll need a silicone sheet or mat. This one is 0.75 millimeters thick. Mark out a circle that will fit perfectly into the inside of the lid and cut it out. Purely for demonstration purposes, I will show you what happens when you use super glue, in this case Gorilla Glue, to stick the silicone to your print. I would not recommend that you use any hard setting glue. The silicone will detach easily. And this is the result after 24 hours of curing. It just peels right off. So, If you make that mistake, you will have to cut out another circle from your silicone sheet. Mark the beginning and end of where you want the slit in the silicone to be, and cut it before gluing it down. The slit should close together neatly, like so. Use silicone glue to stick the silicone to your lid. Make sure the slit in the silicone lines up nicely with the hole in the lid. And try to get all the air bubbles out, or it may not be quite as leak-proof as you want. And once cured, you can test it out. I wanted to make sure that the wand would be able to go in and out of the bottle and not lose too much bubble liquid through contact with the silicone, which is what I'm testing here. And it was able to do that. Next was the spill test. I filled it up with water and tipped it over. A little squirt of water came out on impact, but no leaking afterwards. But with the bubble wand inside, of course, the water leaked out. This design is definitely not perfect. The wand is attached to the lid, which is supposed to be used for storage. So, when you have the other lid on the bottle, the wand will not quite reach all the way down to the bottom. So you won't be able to reach all of your bubble liquid. Another problem is that if the wand is twisted while in the bottle, a child may have difficulty getting it out again. But this is a problem which is quite easily solved. I made a wand that has some simple flat wings, if you like, that help to guide it in and out of the hole. So while it's in the bottle, it simply cannot be turned and won't get stuck. I didn't want it to be stored with the wand in the silicone slit, just in case the silicone loses that nice perfect seal. So this bottle uses two lids, which might be an inconvenience. So there we have it, a spill-proof seal for bubble liquid bottles. Feel free to use this video as a guide to make your own version of a spill-proof bottle. Or you could download this exact model for free. I have provided a link to the Thingiverse page in the description. May you turn all of your bubble liquid into bubbles. Thanks for watching.